Now, here is a commentary on the career of President Kennedy, prepared by John Svedman of the CBC International Service and read by Pat Atkins.
President Kennedy is dead, shot from behind in a senseless act of violence. Not since the assassination of Abraham Lincoln has the United States and the world been struck by so sudden a tragedy. The president, as Lincoln before him, died for his principles and ideals as he had lived by them. As a young man, he wrote a book called Profiles in Courage. No more fitting title can be given to his own life. It was a profile in courage. It was so in war and in peace. In war as in peace, the president displayed the same quiet courage and determination. Whether battling to save his men after his ship had been sunk in the South Pacific during the war, or in the White House, struggling to save the world forever from the scourge of nuclear war and devastation, President Kennedy was a man of the same superb qualities, a man of courage and integrity, of intelligence and superb self-control. He had mapped out his path, and nothing could divert him from it. Nothing could make him compromise on the priorities. For the world, it was peace. It was the end of all wars that his own experience had taught him to be the supreme prize. And perhaps history will be able to record that it was during his presidency that the first all-important step towards realization of that goal was taken. At the moment of the president's death, the two superpowers, the two nuclear giants, had forsworn the use of war as an instrument of policy. Perhaps we would have been more certain that this renunciation would never change if President Kennedy had been allowed to live to see his work through, to impress more firmly on the minds of leaders and peoples in both East and West that the ultimate horror must be avoided. This was a priority on which there could be no let-up for President Kennedy and no sparing of efforts. At home, the priority on which he felt no effort could in all conscience be spared was the achievement of full equality in all respects for all United States citizens, whatever their color, their creed, or their origin. In practical terms, this meant full equality at once for the Negroes in the South. And this meant a social revolution, a complete change in habit, thought, and feeling for a large number of Southern whites. Many were the voices that warned President Kennedy that he was going too fast. But his reply, and that of the underprivileged Negroes, was that no rate of advance could be too fast on such a basic human need, on such a basic demand for United States citizens to enjoy those rights which were conferred on them in law and by right by the very fact of having been born on United States soil. It is clear now that the president went too fast, not so far as the Negroes were concerned, but as far as his own safety and life were involved. But perhaps in death, his calm, firm voice, demanding justice and equality for everybody, will be heard and heeded even more strongly in the South than it was in life. President Kennedy had won the admiration, the affection, and the respect of people all over the world, not least of those whom he confronted in what was at the beginning of his presidency, the Cold War. Outside his own country, perhaps he was nowhere more loved and respected than here in Canada. It was to Ottawa that he came for his first official visit abroad after assuming the presidency. He then captured the hearts and minds of Canadians and created feelings of deep sympathy which have only warmed and become heightened since. His face has become more well known on our television screens than perhaps any other. We knew every inflection of his Harvard and Boston voice, every little mannerism and gesture. Never has a United States president been so near to us. Today, when he is dead, it is as if we had lost a near and loved one. The tragic death of this young, this courageous, this dedicated leader and selfless human being has plunged not only the United States, but this country and the whole world into deep consternation and sorrow. national service of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. This broadcast is heard twice daily and is directed to Australia, New Zealand, and the islands of the South Pacific, Hawaii, and the west coast of the United States and Mexico. Our two Australasian transmissions begin at the following local times. Melbourne, 5:15 and 6 p.m. Wellington, 7:15 and 8 p.m. Honolulu, 9:15 and 10 p.m. San Francisco, 11:15 and 12 midnight. The first Australasian transmission may be heard on 33.17 meters, 9.625 megacycles, and 50.25 meters, 5.97 megacycles. The second Australasian service is transmitted on 31.15 meters, 9.63 megacycles, and 50.25 meters, 5.97 megacycles per second. Your comments on our programs are always welcome. Address your letters to the CBC International Service, Box 6000, Montreal, Canada. Ici Radio Canada. This is Canada.